Hello and welcome to JazzedTutorials. If you are a first-time viewer, welcome. You chose a wise video to watch. I thank you. And if you are a past viewer or a subscriber, thank you for coming back. I appreciate that. So what are we making today, you wonder? Well, let me explain. So basically what we're doing is we're going to be changing the color of the eye. Now there are multiple techniques, I'm sure, for this, but I found a really simple and easy way, an elegant way, an awesome way to make this pretty cool. So there are one of two ways we're going to do this today. I will explain the first way, which is going to be with it as it is, color and all. But we're also going to be making it with a black and white type of style. Because I think you've seen, maybe on DeviantArt.com, maybe in Google, how some people have like a black and white photo, but the eye color is a very neon bright color. I will show you how to make that lovely photo, but I will also show you a way to do it without using black and white in case you think black and white isn't your style. So first off, we opened our photo. Now I'm choosing this lovely photo here. Now keep in mind when doing this tutorial, you want to have your photo be very high def and very large in size. So I chose a photo that's about 1200 pixels by something of that large size. I don't remember the exact size, but it's 1200 pixels nonetheless. Anyway, of that caliber. The reason why you want it to be fairly large is because it's a lot easier to work with and it really showcases the particular effect you're going for nicely. You can always resize at the end, that's not a problem, but to start things off you want to have it be a very large, high def type of photo. And sometimes depending on which technique you're using, if you're using the black and white technique, then the detail within the eye isn't so important. If you're doing it as it sits with the color, you want to make sure your eye has very nice detail to it. That way when you add the color, it doesn't look all jumbly and very distorted. But for that, I've found that blues and green eyes work the best. I have tried the browns and they don't look as good, and they're very dark and ominous. So I prefer to use a blue and a green eye when doing it in color. But when you're doing black and white, the color does not matter, if that makes any sense to you. Let's just keep going forward before I get all jumbling up. Alright, so grab your pen tool, and now I'm going to be zooming in quite far for this, and you will probably have to as well. And you're going to trace around the entire eye, cutting out only the portion you want to have colored, which is basically the inside of the eye. Okay, great. You're finished. Almost. Now, once you've made your lovely selection, you're going to right-click and select Make a Selection, obviously. 0 is your feather radius, and anti-aliased and new selection should be checked off or selected. Click OK, and you'll get the lovely little marquee thing floating around your image. When you see that, do a Control or Command J and duplicate that selection. So now that selection's on its own layer, and you can now work with only that one particular selection. Very easy and worthy to work with. Okay, now I'm going to show you first off how to do this with the color, and then I'll show you how to do it with the black and white photo. Alright? So if you're going to leave it as it is, not black and white, you're going to go to Image and Adjustments, and you're going to select Hue and Saturation. And now is where you choose the color of your eye. You can go to the left or to the right depending on the hue you want. I particularly like a reddish hue. Now, for some of your photos, you may have to alter the saturation as well. As you see on my photo, the hue is not as bright as I want it to be. So in that case, I'm going to adjust my saturation to suit the photo I want to have. Now, I think that's a fairly nice red, ominous color, don't you think? So if you like it, click OK and you're all set and you're good to go. But if you're like me and want to go really deep into this and really give it a really nice vibrant photo, I'm going to choose black and white as my option for the other portion of the eye. So going back to my original main layer that we had, layer 1, I'm just going to duplicate that layer, so in the event I make a mistake or want to alter it in any way, I can. Because if I did it on the actual layer and I made a mistake, it's kind of hard to go back because you'd only go back so far. So on that copy layer, I'm going to go and do a Control-Shift-U and desicate my photo. Alright, looks pretty awesome. but I still think it needs something more to it. So, since Halloween's right around the corner, I figured let's find a nice Halloween grungy texture to add on top of it to give it more of a Halloweeny, like, gory effect to it. So I went to google.com and just found a random texture. And as you'll notice, I have it set to overlay with the 50% opacity. I will show you what my texture actually looks like. This is what it actually looks like, but not with the 50%. Sorry. Alright, that's the texture I found. But again, this is up to you. This is optional. So if you want to go ahead and find your own textures, just go to google.com, type in grungy dark textures, and you'll find something that you like. And this is all personal preference, obviously. So I will not be providing this for you to download, sorry to say. I just think it'd be fun if you had your own to use and your own to experiment with. So with that texture, 50% opacity, and select overlay. Now you can alter the opacity as you wish to suit your photo. Now again, I think my photo needs to be a bit darker. It just doesn't scream like it's that great. So I had to go ahead and add a brightness and contrast adjustment layer above everything. And at this point, I want to make mine really dark. So, contrast that. Slightly dark. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And now, I also feel that my eye needs to be colored a bit more. So, I'm just going to go back onto my eye layer, and I'm going to go to Image and Adjustments yet again, and I'm going to add some more hue and more saturation to that particular layer. So, I'm only playing with the hue a bit, not as much as I was before. And then the saturation, I'll just adjust to suit my photo. Alright, that looks pretty gory to me and pretty awesome. Let's zoom out and see what it looks like. Totally awesome, guys. I like it. Do you like it? I like it. That looks pretty cool. So, that's how you change the eye color in your photo. It couldn't be more simpler than that. And another great way to make a nice Halloween type of photo if you're doing that kind of stuff. I don't know. But, yeah. So, thanks for watching, subscribing, liking, and commenting, and I will see you guys in another video next week. See ya!